All right, senior home business family, how you guys doing today? Brittney and Matt are here. We're back in studio, I guess. Brittney, I'm in my office. You're in your office. Is it kind of like our studio, our virtual studio that we got going on? A lot of things have been happening the last several weeks. We've been coaching clients in Orlando, Florida, and Sacramento, California, and getting leads, getting referral sources in a matter of days. Brittney, it's been amazing. I don't really like saying that a whole lot because it makes the business kind of like super, super simple, which I guess to you and to me, because we've been doing it for so long, it's just some of it is simple. I think a lot of people just over communicate, overcomplicate, not communicate. Hopefully they're communicating, but they overcomplicate this business to no end. And so we want to do things to kind of help you out today. So we're going to talk about the evolution of senior placement. And kind of the title today is from handshakes to high performance systems. Brittney, we've done a video on this before. Part of this is like what the business looked like in 2016 and what it looks like today. So it's kind of a 10-year kind of deal. This business goes all the way back to the late 90s, and a lot has evolved. Just like any industry out there, it's just evolved over time. And I want people to realize there is a traditional way of doing business. There is an online way of doing business, and there's a technology, you can use technology to help you out. The technology piece doesn't substitute you, Brittney, right? It doesn't substitute me, it doesn't replace us, but it definitely enhances the user experience. The people that are out there going through placement, trying to identify senior living communities. And so that's what I want to get to, because the first part is, number one, is nice conversations, that we need to turn those nice conversations into intentional outcomes. And, I think people in this business, when they first get into it, sometimes they think it's just a matter of having a business card and going up to places and just dropping the business card off and how are you? My name is, and those kind of things. And that's all nice conversations. But if you're going to grow a business, which hopefully you are either in this business, or if you're watching this channel, you're looking to start a senior placement business. And you need to click down and watch the Senior Placement Institute webinar and learn about what we're doing, the courses we have. We can train you and coach you along the way. But you got to have intentional outcomes. Brittney, when you think of that, what would be an intentional outcome when you go visit places? I mean, you're not there just to shake a hand, smile, how are you, my name is, and leaving. What would be some of the intentional outcomes we can look for?
I think the bottom line is to help seniors and actually get the referrals to help seniors. So like you said, it's really easy just to go out and introduce yourself and, kind of just talk little small talk. But the whole intention is to help seniors. Of course, it is to run a business, to make money, but entirely, we just need to get in front of seniors to be able to guide them.
Absolutely. And I think, I got sub point here. Presence creates authority, right? It's how you walk into a community. I was just sharing with some students last night, when I go into these communities, like when I was in Orlando and Sacramento and been other places, when I was in Virginia and I went there and didn't know anybody in senior living, didn't know any executive directors, marketing directors, no social workers, whatever, and got a paying client in literally 12 hours. Now it was 2 hours a day in full disclosure over the course of 6 days, but I didn't leave the hotel room and was able to do that. So presence on the phone or social media, that will help. But I'm talking about mainly in person. When we walk in there, you really need to kind of scope out the territory, right? Know what's going on. I think it's super important for us to involve the front desk. When appropriate, talk to seniors. Like I had a senior that it was up in Sacramento. We were walking around this skilled nursing facility waiting for the social worker, and this cute lady comes out in a wheelchair. She comes around the corner. She's in her Christmas pajamas. Now, granted, we were February, so we're 2 months removed from Christmas, but it was adorable. And I thought, man, I just love your pajamas. She goes, oh, thank you. And she just went on and on talking about her pajamas and this and that. And it led to a conversation about her knees and why she's there. And, and she started sharing. She goes, I just love this place. And she's talking about a skilled nursing facility, guys. And I went, why do you love it so much? And she goes, oh, the staff is just so sweet. They're so attentive. Now, how does that help me as a senior placement agent? By having a simple conversation with the senior. Now, it was appropriate. It wasn't like I just went in her room and just started talking to her out of the blue, like, who's this guy? It was out in the foyer, in front of other people, those kind of things. But it helps me because at times I do get people saying, hey, my mom or dad needs a skilled nursing facility. Can you help me out? And, I don't get paid for that typically. I know in some areas, I think in Missouri, I think, Brittney, you get paid for some of the private pay ones. In California, I don't. But we still are an advocate for seniors. We're helping seniors. And so what that would do for me, if that was one of the skilled nursing facilities that I was working with, I could honestly tell somebody, I would literally check out this skilled nursing facility here. They have a bed available. And you know what? And one of the seniors told me recently, she just loves the staff. They're so attentive. Verbatim, word for word, right out of her mouth. I think that's so important, right? And as we're there talking to people, Brittney, we need to serve first, then speak, right? We need to kind of figure out, how we can add value and stop leading with, this is who I am. This is my business. This is what I can do. Give me a lead, those kind of things, right? What are some ways, Brittney, we can serve first and speak afterwards? Because when I think of serve first, I think of asking specific questions and hearing what they say and hearing what's on their mind, right? And what's important to them.
I think the simplest thing is, what are your typical struggles, or what do you typically see the hardest to work with? Whether if it was like a discharge planner or a social services director, say, what is the hardest part of your job, and where do you see the downfalls of families getting resources, and hear what they have to say, hear their feedback. They're so used to all of us, like you said, pitching who we are, what we do, how we can help you. Find out what they actually need help with and see how you can give them resources and actually serve them to help them. Might not always be paid referrals. I'm sure they're not going to come and say, our biggest objection or our hardest thing in our job is to find an assisted living that someone can afford for $10,000 a month. I highly doubt that will be their answer, but find out what they are struggling with the most. Is it time? Is it Medicaid? Is it Medi-Cal? Is it finding a good home health company, hospice, real estate, whatever it is, and see how you can actually help them.
Hey, thanks for throwing in Medi-Cal. I appreciate it. Us Californians, we really appreciate that. California's got to be different. If you hear us say Medi-Cal, Brittney threw that in with Medicaid. It means the exact same thing. We're the only state that calls it that, but it means the same thing. And I love this one here too, Brittney. Behavior increases probability. And I honestly believe that, how we treat the front desk, how we treat others when we enter into a skilled nursing facility, we're out, not just shaking hands, but we're getting to know people. And we're not there just having the front desk serve us like, can you get the social worker for me? Like, she's unimportant. She's extremely important. There was one of the couple that I was coaching up in Sacramento. He's got an appointment coming up. I think it's March 13th or something like that. And this front desk person had the authority to schedule appointments without asking permission, which I thought was really cool. And what that said to me, just in having a short conversation with her and seeing how she operated, I got the impression, I didn't ask her, but I got the impression she's been there for years. And she's more than just a gatekeeper. She's kind of like a manager kind of deal. So I told the gentleman that I was working with, I said, hey, when you go to this meeting and you bring your donuts, right? Because that's what he's bringing. He's bringing donuts. And I worked him how to, orchestrate a message, a talk in 20 minutes, what to say, what not to say, those type of things. I said, but what you need to do is find out what this lady likes to drink, a tea, coffee, something. Don't just bring her one of the donuts out of the box. Bring her something. She's the one that got this whole meeting going anyway. And so the beautiful thing about gatekeepers, if they're on your side, they can do a lot more than we give them credit for. If they're not on our side, and they're offended by how we talk, the way we act, or anything like that, man, it's going to be a cold day in hell before we actually get through that gatekeeper to get to where we're going. There'll be a roadblock after roadblock. So I want to say that. Number two, relationships still matter, but systems protect your income. And Brittney, as we get into this, I want to show something for the audience out there today. We've got something now within our CRM. If you want to know more about it, you can click down below and schedule an appointment for the CRM and all the different things we got going on. But towards senior living, we've got what's called a referral radar. This is amazing. This here has got all the skilled nursing, just one particular area here. And you can actually scroll over here and see how many expected referrals per month that you would be getting. Now, it doesn't mean you're going to get all of them. Doesn't mean you're not going to get 20% of them, but it gives you the opportunity of what you can expect to receive. Why this is important. Now, Brittney, when I first started my agency back in 2018, I didn't know much about the senior skilled nursing facilities, even though the ones I went to as a marketing director with the AL community I was working with, but still didn't know much about their discharges, right? So this really would have really helped me greatly to know which skilled nursing facilities to prioritize. Because if not, it's really a shot in the dark at the beginning. Now, with you being seasoned in your area, you know the skilled nursing facilities in your area. I know the ones in my area. But somebody's just starting out, or somebody's been in this business less than a couple of years, and you're still going to the same skilled nursing facility over and over again, and they might only be given one discharge out for assisted living once every other month. I mean, it might be so low, or it might be low income Medi-Cal or Medicaid residents that you're really not going to be able to help that much anyway. Now, you still want to stay in the game, guys. They might not be able to help your bank account out, but still treat the residents with respect, be an advocate for seniors, work with them, right? I'm not saying that. But this right here will help you prioritize the skilled nursing facilities, which one you really should target. So I wanted to bring that up to you guys today about that. But in saying that, Brittney, never build a barred influence. Now, what I mean by that is kind of weird. I don't know what that, that's kind of a fragment. But what I mean by that is we're building our business on contacts. I think that is a weak business model, right? The referrals, the people we have in contacts that are giving us leads really should be the icing on the cake. It really should be the system that you're building. Because if you got one social worker, let's say she's giving you 3 or 4 leads a month, and you think, man, my business is cooking. It is phenomenal. And it might be for a season until she's not there anymore, until she leaves. I've had that happen to me several times. Somebody was giving me multiple leads per month, and then only find out she goes to another location. And I'm thinking, okay, well, no big deal. I'll start getting leads from over there. Only to find out she's not working in short term anymore. She's working in long term. And she could be a little bit influential with the other person, but the other person's kind of got their system set up. So don't build your business on just your contacts. Build it on a system. So I think, Brittney, we should document everything. I think you should have a CRM. Now, I've done a video years ago, I think 3 years ago, something like that. I think it was even entitled, I don't use a CRM. And I really didn't, because I don't have a passion for CRMs. Like, I've used Salesforce and other ones, Brittney, but it's not that guy. It's not my personality type. We use it now. I got a team. And I think for certain personality types, it's going to help keep you organized, but you need to document everything. And so with that particular scenario I was telling you about, I would be able to document. Stephanie's no longer there. She went to ABC, skilled nursing facility. She's in long-term over there now. That new person is blah, blah, blah. And now I need to start all over with my current skilled nursing facility to establish rapport. But don't just base it on contacts. What do you think about that, Brittney?
I agree. I think, obviously, as you build your business, your contacts will give you word of mouth around, I would say making sure that you have systems, you have a process to making sure that you're following up with certain people, that you're always expanding. I know also it's not a good idea, or probably not the smartest thing, to rely, like you said, on 1 or 2 social workers. You have to always be expanding in case that social worker retires or moves or gets out of the industry. So I think it's really important that you don't get lax, and you constantly are building processes to get more leads, whether it's social media. We always say, don't put your eggs all in one basket. I think this is very true on social workers, because if you lose one social worker, that could be $85,000 a year from one person. That could be $100,000 a year from one person. So making sure you have a good mix, and you know that you're constantly trying to grow those referral sources, whether it be social media, technology, social workers, or, different companies as well.
Yeah. My first marketing director that I hired, she was a social worker of a skilled nursing facility. This was a mistake I made. Now, not a mistake of the person. I think the person is really great, but I really didn't think through the process of hiring her clearly. I'll tell you why. We were getting 5 referrals a month from them. I went out and hired the person that was giving me 5 leads a month and put her on my team to pay her $75,000, $85,000 a year with insurance. And now we got to start all over with that community. Now, what we were hoping, and it played out in my favor a little bit, we were hoping the next person in line had a relationship with her so they would continue the leads. And they did for the most part. I don't know if we got all the leads. We went from being like exclusive with that skilled nursing facility to like getting maybe 2 or 3 or something like that. But it worked to my advantage in the long term because she was a really good marketing director and got some other contacts. But be careful in terms of hiring social workers. They're great people to be on your team. But if you're going to do that with some other community, maybe they're not giving you leads or something, right? I think that's kind of dumb on my part. Brittney, consistency beats personality. And I just think that, people rely on their personality too much over consistency. I would throw myself into that category. I think I've got a decent personality. I can, connect with people fairly easily and things like that. I think over time, been seasons in my life where I relied on my personality and not consistency. Okay, it doesn't matter if I go out and see 20 different locations this week. I only need to see 3 or 4. I'm going to get 2 or 3 of them and we're going to call it good. Well, that works sometimes, but the numbers are not in your favor. So the law of averages, you really need to be consistent. So let's go to the third one. Brittney, hit this one. Speed is the new superpower. You've got to put this thing in motion. And what I mean by that, Brittney, kind of help you out a little bit, is that imperfect action beats perfect planning. That's what I mean by that. Because too many people are just kind of, waiting for the perfect, beautiful day. It's 85 degrees, sunny, no rain, no wind. It's too cold yesterday. My car was low on gas. My hair didn't look good, which that's why I shaved mine, because my hair always looks good. Either that or it always looks bad, whichever. But speak on that, Brittney. Imperfect action beats perfect.
Yeah, I think, we always talk about like people wait to have the perfect website, the perfect business card, the perfect brand. But the beauty of this business is a lot of it has nothing to do with your website or your brand. It really has to do with you and getting out there and beating the ground. We say beating the ground, beating the pavement, making sure that you're learning and getting to know all of these things. You can't do that behind a computer screen, more than likely, totally. Or you can't without picking up the phone, without having conversations. You have to make sure that you're actually like doing things, and nothing's going to go perfect. So we could sit here and plan, even at this stage of my business, every single one of my days, my quarters, my years, and it's probably going to go nothing like that. So you really can't have a perfect plan. You just have to get out there and try it. And the more that you get out and try it, the more that you learn, the better that you get. So you won't get good and you won't be, adequate enough to help residents and help families and help communities in general if you don't get out there and actually do it. And the only way to do it, to learn, is to do it. So we get a lot of students caught up in their head. My business card's not exactly where I want it to be. My website's not done. The beauty is you don't need it. You really don't need it in this business.
Absolutely. I just had somebody the other day was talking about their website not being fully developed, so they can't go out. They don't have this done. Your point, business cards. My business card, I've said this on this channel multiple times. No fault to Vistaprint. I believe that's who I went through at the time. I still use them. It looked great on my computer. Maybe my eyes were tricking me that day. I don't know, but it looked great. But when I got those 100 business cards in a box, they looked god awful. I wish I'd saved one because they were hideous looking. I mean, too dark. I mean, just everything about it was bad. But I didn't allow that to stop me. I just said, you know what? Going out there, bam, this is my business card. I didn't make excuses. Every time I pass one out, I didn't go, okay, I know my business card's ugly. I know that you can't really read some of it. I led with confidence and value and gave them my contact information. And how can I follow up? So you just kind of use that kind of thing. Now I think my business cards look much better, which is cool, should improve. But don't allow these little things to stop you, because the next one we'll talk about is daily activity builds confidence. So if you allow these other things to halt your progress, then you're not going to do the daily activities. You're not going to go out and market. You're not going to go out and see people. You're not going to make those calls. You're not going to talk to the residents and families. And if you don't do all the activity, guess what? You're not going to build confidence. And if you don't build confidence in yourself, you're never going to get to the place of competence. I know we want to get it backwards. And maybe I did this most of my life. I don't know. We want to be an expert before we have confidence. And we don't have confidence before we go out and see people. It usually works in reverse. It usually works, go out and see people, make those calls, and you're not quite sure what to say and what to do yet, but you're going to do it. And then you're going to build some confidence because you're going to have some success. You might not have a whole lot of success, but a little bit. And then you're going to get more competent, and it's going to lead back to confidence. And then when you go out again, you know you're going to kill it, right? Does that make sense? It's just kind of, it flips, it reverse, but.
Yeah, no, I agree. No, I was just gonna say, I agree. You don't get confident till you try it. And I would say, like, they use this analogy a lot of like working out. Everyone, like, they make videos of like your first squat compared to a year later after you're squatting with 50 pounds. But if they never got in there and tried it, then you wouldn't have built the confidence to do better things and to learn more. So it's the same exact thing in senior placement. The more that you do it, the more confident you get, and then you're more competent. And the confidence radiates. When you get to know stuff and you can have a really educated conversation about senior placement, it really flows. But you never would have been able to get there until you kind of, we always say you kind of not fail, but you kind of go and you learn as you go.
Definitely. And I mean, fast feedback creates growth, right? How are you going to get fast feedback if you're going too slowly or you're not going at all, right? We talk to ourselves a lot. At least I do. Maybe I'm, just an exception, but I talk to myself a lot. And because we talk to ourselves a lot, we can actually talk ourselves out of something instead of going out there and doing it. And the cool thing about it is, let me let you know something. If you're thinking about getting this business, I'd click the link down below and watch the Senior Placements 2 webinar, schedule a call with us. But if you're thinking about getting this business, it's not as scary as you may think. Most people in this industry are nice people. You're always going to have a few bad apples, but most of them are just great individuals. They love people. They love seniors. They wouldn't be doing what they're doing if they didn't love people. There's 1,001 other things they could be doing besides doing what they're doing. And so it's not going to be as bad as it may seem. And you're going to learn a lot, and you're inevitably going to make connection with certain people that I probably could never connect with. My personality type connects with certain people. Brittney, yours as well. And if somebody's watching this show today, there are certain people that are waiting for your personality type. They're waiting they might like the way you talk. The reason I say that is because I've got a social worker that does business with me, and she told my marketing director just not long ago, she couldn't wait to see me again. She loves the way I talk. Maybe because I live in California and still talk like I'm in Virginia. I don't know. And I've been here for a quarter of a century, but I still talk like I'm in Virginia. The way you talk, the way you act, the way you dress, your interests. There's a lot of different things you can do, but you got to get fast feedback that's going to create growth, okay? Number 4, technology expands your reach. It doesn't replace your heart, okay? But you're going to have certain things in motion, certain technology, whether it be a CRM. You can click down a link and watch the whole demo of the CRM and the referral radar kind of thing. But there's other things you can do. And what I'm trying to advocate here for you as a listener is to build a business. Don't wing it, and don't go on a hope and a prayer. Nothing wrong with prayer. You should pray every day, but don't go on just on hope, right? And and be so dependent upon somebody giving you a lead. Again, that's the icing on the cake. If they give me a lead, that's great. If they don't, that's okay too. But I've got systems in place that, guess what? I'm going to get leads anyway, because my business is not built just mainly on that contact at that certain location. It's connecting with families where families are at. Let me give you a pro tip. If you want to attract people to your business, then you've got to be seen, known. You've got to be heard. You've got to get attention. If you don't get attention, they're never going to know about you. And attention is not just getting your business name on Google and getting on the 4th page of the Google search. It's not just having a website and hoping and praying somebody lands on your website. No, it's actually getting attention. And it's actually going to be you getting your cell phone, getting your camera, doing some video, doing some posts. And more importantly than just doing the post, you're going to have to engage with people. And I think that's where people kind of get it a little bit twisted. I've seen a couple of our students recently, and I'm so excited that they're taking that step forward and doing social media. But it's a couple of them, it's all AI driven. It's not personable. There's no engagement. It's just there. And in this business, at least my experience in the years I've done this, it's a lot about personal branding. It's about who you are. Like Brittney, I guarantee you there's people that do business with you because of who you are. They've seen you perform, and not in a bad way like you're acting, but they've seen you do your job with due diligence, caring for individuals, and there's nobody else they would rather give the lead to than you. But that's one lead source. That one person leaves, gets fired, whatever. Now you're back to square one. Or dumb me, go hire that person and put them on your team and stop the lead source, right? Whatever you want to do, but it stops. So you got to have technology, right? So let's go to this one. Visibility creates trust. And that's another reason why you don't be on social media and have technology in place, is that visibility, you're out there. I can't tell you how many people have told me over and over again, and I've said this several times on this channel, that, man, Matt is an expert. I never say I'm an expert. I never will. I still think there's a lot I need to learn. I think there's countless people out there that know a lot more than I'll ever know. Now, I know a lot only because I've done this for so long. And that's one of the superpowers in this business. If you just get in the game, like Brittney, you started what, 2019? Yep. You're in the game. And now 2026, guess what? She's still in the game. How many people have jumped into something and 6 months down the road, jump out of it and do something else? I've had people, Brittney, get into what we're doing, get out, go do 2 or 3 other things. 2 years later, come back. Oh, I'm ready now. I'm ready. Okay, that's good. No time like the present. However, not to beat a dead horse, but they wasted 24 months. They lost all the momentum that they had at the beginning. So if you got a conviction of helping people and loving seniors and doing things for people that can't do for themselves, this is a great business to get involved in, and you need to stick with it. And you're going to have some terrible weeks. You're going to have some bad months. You're going to have some awful days. But you know what? The reward always just circumvents all of that stuff. I mean, the reward is the families I'm able to help. And I mean families, whether I get paid for it or not, whether it's pro bono, whether it's a $10,000 move-in. To me, it doesn't really matter. Now, I know you're saying, oh, come on, Matt, it does matter. Well, okay, maybe I feel a little bit differently when I get to $10,000 versus pro bono. But I purposely have them in mind as though they were my mom or dad, and how would I want my own mom and dad to be treated. But you got to be visible. If no one knows you, they can't trust you, right? That's an old cliche, right? People only do business with people they trust. Well, dang on, if that's true, which is probably true. They don't know you. They've never seen you, never heard of you. How in the world can they get to a place of trusting you? So, Brittney, let's go to number 5. Why right now is the window, and how not to start slow. I mean, we talk about all the baby boomers turning 65 by 2030. We've been preaching this for several years now. And I don't know if people kind of get the severity of all this in terms of the magnitude of the trajectory of this business that keeps climbing. And that you are at a place, if you truly care about people, want to help seniors, you want to start your own business, this is a perfect opportunity for you to dive in, to do something meaningful, to help others. But the window is closing. It's closing. What I mean by that is, can you do this business in 2040? I don't know. I don't know what this business looks like in 15 years from now or 14 years from now. Technology is running rampant. I think a lot of it's going that direction. But you've got a window of opportunity. And not only is the window to get in the business, start making money and helping people, but you can start growing your company, being visible, and start implementing some technology into your business. So, Brittney, speak to why right now. Why should people jump in right now?
I mean, I think like we always talk about the month and the year that passes, it could have been that much time that you were able to get into it and help seniors. To your point, I think it's a great time to get into the industry because of all of the increase in seniors right now. And obviously, the more that the senior increases, the more competition is going to come into play. So why not start now and get ahead of the curve? I think we're at a really good time right now where you're not behind the 8 ball at all. You're actually right in the middle of what's to come. So you would be able to actually see the changes in the industry and be able to move with it. If you come, years down the line, you might have to play a lot of catch up. So I think no better time than the present. And the more time that you wait, the more time you waste not being able to help seniors.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. When I first started my agency back in 2018, and we started the coaching in 2019 out of just people asking me all about this stuff, right? And I remember early on when I first started, people were like, well, how long have you been doing this? And I said, well, I used to work for an AO company, blah, blah, blah. And then I've been working my agency for the last 6 months. Oh, you're new at this. Oh, okay, well, I'll circle back around to you in a year to see if you're still doing it and see if you're still successful. And it's just not you getting lucky. And then I'll sign up. So they kind of judged me for lack of experience back then, right? Now, you know what I get now? Now I get, oh, it's easy for you to do this business because you've been doing it so long. Oh, yeah, you got all the contacts and that. Dude, all you're doing, can I speak to you right now out there, the audience? You're me. From 2008 to 2018, I made all kinds of excuses not to do something. And it was, oh, this guy's brand new. He doesn't know what he's doing. He's new. He's not going to be in it that long. I don't know if I can learn from him. Let me go get somebody else. To now, oh my gosh, he's got all these years of experience. He knows everybody. He knows all the strategies. It's unfair. It's easy for him. You're making excuses. Stop making excuses. Click the link, schedule a call with us. But beyond that, make a decision for yourself and say, you know what? Enough of all these reasons and excuses that I'm putting on myself to not do something meaningful. Time is flying by. Brittney, I just did a video the other day. I was walking Hank and I said, man, I'm 57 years old. I used to run while doing a video. This was probably like 5 years ago. I don't know if you remember those videos or not, but I used to run in and I'd be doing a video, but inspiring people, motivating them. Now I'm walking my dog instead of running, and but doing kind of the same thing, kind of like, man, I am so thankful where we are today. I get to go out and walk my dog in the middle of the day. I get to go do certain things. Brittney, you get to go do certain things. So there's that level of freedom that we have now that we didn't have before when we had a W-2 position. We just don't have it. And I'm not bagging W-2 positions. Thank God I had some really good ones in the past, had some really great bosses in the past. I'm grateful for all that. But there's nothing like calling your own shots. It's nothing like doing something for you and building. But the key word in that sentence is building. If you're not in this business for the long term and you're thinking about how to get a lead tomorrow to get paid tomorrow, and you're calling some other business out there and they're like, yeah, just pay today and you'll get a lead tomorrow. You'll get $5,000 tomorrow. Probably not going to happen. I can tell you that right now. We've got multiple students in our senior home business community, Brittney, that have done 3 or 4 move-ins their first month. But we got a number of them. Took them months to get started and to get going, to get ramped up, start getting leads, start getting move-ins. And the people that are successful today in our community are the ones who made a decision, put that line in the sand. I am not looking back. I am going forward. And that's part of Brittney's success and my success is that what have we done for the last 7 years, 6 years? Since 2018. Go back on YouTube. Look at my old videos from 2019. What have I done differently? What message have I preached differently? That's funny because we had this one lady. She goes, I don't know what you're teaching. My gosh, this business is so easy. I said, go to my YouTube channel. There's 800 plus videos. You see all kinds of videos that we teach. There's a lot to this business. It's simplistic in nature. You don't need an Ivy League degree. You don't need a college degree. You don't need trade school. You don't even need a high school education necessarily, but you just need to know the process and have systems and processes in place. When you do, you will be successful. So, Brittney, I'm super excited to be back. I know we've taken a couple weeks sabbatical because I was out of town and helping different people, and I love that part of the business. But I love what we do in building teams, and Brittney has done a successful job in establishing her company, building a team. I've done the same thing. We've got multiple people working in our companies, and it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of joy. And the good news is you can do this too. You don't have to sit on the sidelines and watch us do this business. You don't have to sit on the sidelines and watch national companies do this business way differently in a lot of areas than we do. But you can learn from us. We'll teach you. So just click the link down below. We'd love to share with you all we know. And until next time, Brittney, God bless.